Hey ladies, so today I am talking to you about estrogen dominance. Now this is the number one thing that is underlying most sex hormone based conditions. So when I say sex hormone based, I mean estrogen, progesterone, like fertility, menstruation, menopause, that sort of stuff. Yeah, I'm not talking so much about your thyroid, your adrenals, and all that. Those are all your other hormones, but I'm talking about your sex hormones. So what's going on here? So if you know what it is, put a yes. I've heard about it. I know what it is. Put it in the comments if you know, so I know where you guys are at. What I'm going to talk about is what it is, what's going on, how it's happening, and then what you can do about it. So listen up. So first things first, the estrogen dominance is a condition where you have too much estrogen in the body and not enough of the other hormones. So namely progesterone. This is the one that really gets mucked up with, okay? When this is happening, we start to see all sorts of problems with hormones. Yeah, we have delayed periods, we have spotting, we have PMS issues, we have menopausal issues, we have all sorts of stuff going on. We have estrogen in the body, we have PCOS, we have really painful periods, heavy periods, clotting, flooding, you get all that sort of stuff. You also see women with estrogen dominance also usually have a lot of extra weight because estrogen is the soft, makes us kind of feminine. So when we've got lots of estrogen, we usually have an excess weight problem as well. So this pairs in with the weight issues that many women with estrogen dominance have. Okay, so that's kind of what it's doing. Now, what we and one other thing we need to know is that when it comes to hormones, your hormones are meant to be kind of balanced. Just say this is balance. I don't know what balance is, but you know, balanced, yeah? With estrogen dominance, you've got like too much estrogen and everything. There are a few different types of estrogen that you guys need to know about as well. So before you go and think all estrogen is bad, my hair's doing crazy things today. Before you think all estrogen is bad, it's not. Okay, so don't mistake. Estrogen is an essential hormone or hormones. There's a group of them. There's three main ones that we need to have a healthy, regular cycle. Yeah, and all those sorts of symptoms and things go away. We need it. It's very important. But with estrogen dominance, we get too much distinction. I can't say the word. Distinction that I'm trying to make today, which is there's good estrogen and there's not so good estrogen. And we can just need to know is that they've all got these different chemical names. You've got three natural ones that your body produces at different levels at different times in your life, whether you're in menopause, whether you're like in your fertility years, that sort of thing. And then you've got the estrogen that's causing estrogen dominance. Okay, so the estrogen that's causing estrogen dominance comes from a few different places. The first place is it comes from your body breaking. It goes, okay, so estrogen, when it's been used, it's done the job it needs to do, the liver has to break it down. Okay, so the liver has two phases, 1, 2, yeah. The first phase, the estrogen comes in, goes through the first phase. Before it can come into the second phase, it goes into this, it's called the intermediate phase. So it comes in looking like this, 1. Then it goes into the intermediate phase and it looks like this. And then for it to go out into the body and be released, so through the gut, it has to look like this, okay? So it's got the 1, 2, 3. Now, phase 2 is the phase of the estrogen breakdown that is really, really bad and that causes estrogen dominance. Now, so what you can see is that you've got two phases of the liver and you've got this one in the middle. So what we need to do is we really need to work on the liver. Make sure that phase 1 and phase 2 are working so that the estrogen doesn't stay like this for a long period of time. Because what happens is when it goes through phase 1, it changes, and then it goes back out in the blood and starts creating all sorts of chaos in the body. And then the liver's like, hold on, come back, come through phase 2. And then, into phase 2, and it can then be out, yeah? So it's got to go through those phases before it can be released from the body. Now, this is one of the main reasons why we get estrogen dominance, because the second phase of the liver isn't doing its job for whatever reason. There's not enough nutrients, there's not enough protein, there's not enough other nutrients that the body needs to do that, with the liver to do that, yeah? The second thing that's going on with estrogen dominance is the gut, yeah? So with the gut, say for example, it goes through those phases, yeah? It comes in looking like this, it goes like this, then it looks like that. We're like, yay, it's getting out of the body. Yay, it's getting out of the body. And then it has to be released into the gut, yeah? Then what can happen is if the flora, the bugs, aren't right in the gut, they can actually turn the estrogen from this back into this. Bing! Magic, yeah? So it can reactivate it back to what it was before it even went through the liver. Bad news, right? So, and then it goes straight back into the blood and off again, and the liver's got to do this whole thing over and 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 over again, yeah? And what happens is the estrogen is just getting more and more and more and more. Meanwhile, the progesterone levels are going down and down. The other hormone levels are also going all over the shop, and your symptoms are getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. Okay. So what is causing this to happen, this estrogen? There's another thing that's happening. The estrogens, there's another type of estrogen. So there's a liver type, the body does. And then there are what we call xenoestrogens. Yeah, xeno is meaning foreign. Yeah, xenoestrogens are all things. Who knows what these are? Put a little comment in the thing. What do you think a xenoestrogen is? Where does it come from? What makes it? There's so many different xenoestrogens out there. And we get them from our food, we get them from the air, we get them from our skincare products. What are these things? These are all chemicals. If you're thinking it, you're right. Write it down. Chemicals are what xenoestrogens are, yeah? They act as estrogen within the body. Yeah, so the molecules of those chemicals look similar to estrogen. And so we start to see this estrogenization of the whole body. We're actually seeing estrogenization. It's a bit of a hard, I've got a few tongue twisters today. Estrogenization of the world. Yeah, it's pollution. Yeah, we are seeing men, more fertility rates starting to drop in men because their testosterone levels are too low, partly because they're not exercising enough, they've got too much estrogen. The other thing, fat creates estrogen. So your fat cells make estrogen. Even if you're a male, your fat cells make estrogen. So also really important to understand about that as well. So the more weight you have, the more estrogen you make, which means the more pressure there is on the liver to get rid of the estrogen, but then often the liver's not working so well because there is so much pressure. And then most people's guts, whenever someone comes to see me, there's usually some sort of gut problem going on, yeah? So then the gut's sticking it back into the body, and it's sort of like, well, how on earth are you going to ever win? Yeah? So if you continue doing this process and you don't address the gut and you don't address the liver, basically your estrogen levels are just going to climb and climb and climb and climb. You're going to put on more and more weight, and you're going to get more and more of these horrible symptoms that women get with their periods and that sort of thing. Yeah, so I hope that helps. My internet's been a little bit average today, so I hope they haven't paused and mucked things up too much. So you get pollution, these chemicals through the air, through your food, through pesticides and chemicals, additives, colorings, flavorings, all the things that are made into processed food, yeah? So food that you have not made, food that you've bought out at a shop, food that comes in a packet, food that's not organic, yeah? All of this adds up. And the truth is, more and more and more of this is adding up every day in every single person's body every day. So children are born in this state now. Yeah, when I was a kid, children weren't born in this state. Yeah, but because the processing of the foods, the chemicals, all of this stuff is just getting more and more and more and more. The children are bought or they're conceived in an estrogen dominant environment. This goes on to affect the baby, and so then we're born. Children are born like this now. So this is the problem. So we've got a mission ahead of ourselves to get rid of estrogen. Yeah. So some of the things you can do: liver detoxing, gut healing. First two things. The second thing you can do is stop eating processed food. Start making your own food. Eat simply. Like vegetables, protein, and a little bit of carbohydrate is the way forward. Yeah. Get away from all these sauces and fancy foods and all that sort of stuff, because the more complex it is, the more work the body has to do. That's my feeling on it now. I feel like our bodies are just like bombarded with all this like flavor and and all this sort of stuff. When you think about it, back in the day, we all used to eat like a traditional diet. Yeah? So we need to eat a traditional diet, a simple diet. Every now and again have something fun and fancy and go out for a nice meal. I'm not saying don't, deprive yourself of all things nice. I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is just keep it simple, keep it natural. Grow your own food if you can. If you can't grow your own food, get an organic delivery, go to the markets, get it natural. That simple stuff is really, really a key foundation to preventing, reducing, and reversing estrogen dominance. Yeah, you can take supplements until the cows come home, but if you're eating shitty food, if you're eating processed food, all this stuff that I've just told you not to do, if you're doing that, then it's going to be 10 times harder to reverse this problem. Yeah? So other things that you need to think about. There's a good vegetables that you can eat, which are the cruciferous vegetables. I always struggle with that word. It's number 3 for today. We're doing like tongue twisters. Who else can say these words? Cruciferous vegetables. Now, cruciferous vegetables are your broccoli, your broccolini, your cabbage, those little sprouts, Brussels sprouts, all of those ones in that family are high. They have a plant chemical in them that converts to DIM. Now, DIM is one of the things that can help move estrogen out of the body. Yeah. So there's a few other herbs, there's a few other nutrients, but first you want to start with the diet. It all starts with the diet. And the other thing about estrogen dominance that you need to know is the more stressed you are, the less progesterone you're going to make. So this is a different sort of side of it. You've got like the liver side, the gut side, you've got all the chemicals that are coming in that are causing it. Yeah. Then we've got stress. Yeah. So this is another way to cause estrogen dominance, because what happens, stress activates the body's to make cortisol and stress hormones. Yeah. So because your body's like, it's stressful, I've got to get out of the situation. When you've been in stress for a long period of time, now, this doesn't mean you have to be going through a divorce or anything like seriously crazy. It could just be like the usual stuff of work, which we all consider normal now, which is get up at 6 o'clock, go to the gym, drop off the kids, make the food, get ready, go to work, do all the work, work, have a lunch break, eat, walk, talk, text, non-stop, no stop, all day, get home, make dinner, eat dinner, sleep, organize the kids, go to bed, did it. Like, you can just see how stressful that day is. There's no stopping, there's no relaxing, there's no downtime. Yeah. So chronic stress doesn't have to just be, I'm moving house, someone died, or I'm going through a divorce. Yeah. It can just be your day-to-day life of like the common, like 9 to 5 worker with kids or a business. That's normal. That is actually very stressful compared to what it used to be. Yeah. So stress, what it does is it makes cortisol and stress hormones, and when it's doing that, your body goes, I don't need to make progesterone, because it's like, well, I've got to get away from the tiger, because all of those little stresses add up to the body saying there's a tiger in the room. It's like the same stress response that's created from those like day-to-day tasks. So on that note, we need to learn to slow down, take deep breaths, and declutter our world. Say no to people, say no to things, get help, get support. Yeah, it is totally stressful. That's right. Yeah, get support, cut our hours, do whatever we need to do to reduce the stress to support our hormones. Yeah, because So many women have problems with hormones, and it's all of this stuff that I'm saying that contributes. It's not just one, it's like this constant build up. Yeah, so it's this one and 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 this one. All these things that I've talked about are happening 24/7 all the time. Yeah, this is what you guys have got to get. Yeah, you can't just do a diet for a week. You can't just do one detox. You can't just take a holiday and think it's all going to go away. It's not. Yeah, so we've got to get real. We've got to get realistic and go, holy shit, this is like a massive problem. Yeah, and if I want to sort out my hormones, I've got to seriously look at my whole life. And I know it's not good news, because humans, the way we are, and especially the way the world works now, it's all about quick, fast, like change this, here's the fastest hack for that, and la, like whatever, I don't care. The truth is, you have to remodel the whole lifestyle that you're living. Have a think about it. Listen to what I've said. It's true, yeah? I'm not lying, I'm not making this up, and I'm not even blowing this out of proportion. This is a problem, yeah? And if you want to lose weight, if you want to get your hormones in check and back balanced, you have to do this. So that's what I have to say, ladies. It's never great news, is it? But the good news is you can do lots about it. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can choose not to. You can listen to this and go, oh my God, that's way too hard, I can't do it. Or you've got two options. Or you can go, you know what? That makes sense. I get it. No wonder why the diet didn't work. No wonder why the whatever I've tried didn't work, or whatever I tried didn't work. It's because you haven't done the whole sort of overhaul, yeah? And you can be like, right, I can do this. And you just start doing one of these things at a time. You know, you go, right, I'm going to eat more veggies. Great, Kim. Awesome. Glad to have helped. I'm going to eat more veggies. Next thing is like, I'm going to sort out my stress levels. Right. Then I'm going to, whatever I've told you, all of those, you just go through, write them down, and strategically is another word, go through them and start doing them one at a time. Yeah, you don't need to see a naturopath to tell you to do this, right? I'm telling you to you now. Yeah, if you want extra help, if you want the extra support, like the how to specifically eat right for your body type, what herbs, nutrients, extra stuff that your unique individual body needs, that's what the naturopath is for. That's what I teach you, tell you, show you how to do. But for now, stress, not over-exercising, that's another one, ladies. This is a big one. I haven't even gone into it. Maybe that can be my next live. Over-exercising is absolutely terrible for your hormones. Not less is more, because we need to exercise, but if you're an over-exerciser, if you're like going hard in the gym and you're just going, you're probably over-exercising. Exercise is not the answer for your weight loss, yeah? It's everything else. So stress, over-exercising, cortisol, that whole thing, that is what can cause progesterone to crash, and estrogen. Because progesterone's low, estrogen, even if you don't have estrogen dominance as such, like you don't have those problems going on, but the truth is most of us do to some level, even say if you just exercised too much and you were stressed too much, then your progesterone levels are going to go down. And because of that, if they're normal like this, and then because progesterone goes down, estrogen, just by default, is high. You see my point? So it's about balance when it comes to hormones, ladies. I'm going to leave it there. If you want more help, if you need more questions, if you got questions, if anything's confusing, or if you want clarification on what I've said, please send me a message. Love to help. If you want to work with me, you can. Just send me a message and we'll go from there. Mwah! Have a great day, girls.